It's time to connect the central station to your track. For regular two-rail users, one wire will go to one rail and the other wire goes to the other rail. It doesn't really matter in which order they go. If you're using Märklin C-Track or Märklin 3-rail, then you run the red wire to the center rail. It is marked with a B, and the brown wire to the outer rail, and it is marked with an O or a 0. Next, we're going to add an MFX capable locomotive to the central station. For this, you need to make certain that the locomotive is MFX capable. And on this box, you can see that this particular locomotive has that capability. You can place the locomotive on your track and on the central station. You can see we have two locomotives right now, that BR89 and the BR120. You take the central station out of the stop mode, and that means now power is going to the track and the central station will be looking for MFX locomotives. This particular locomotive will start sending its information automatically to the central station. All the functions of the locomotive and all the other information is being read automatically by the central station and put in its database. There you can see a new icon for that particular Swiss locomotive. I can then grab it and move it to one of the two side windows and start controlling it. You can also see that the icons automatically start to fill out with all the functions that the locomotive has. I can pull the window and make it larger by pulling it towards the center, and this locomotive has a whole lot of additional functions, and they all register correctly on the central station. We can then activate a function. It's yellow when it's activated. Some functions are momentary, like this whistle, and some functions, like this conductor's whistle, will stay on until you touch them again to turn them off. Some of the sound files can actually be very long. Well, you get the idea. Right now this locomotive is still in the expanded mode with the speedometer. When you pull it back, it switches back to the speed bar, as you can see here, and it shows the three icons of the three available locomotives. Now I can narrow it further down and remove all the functions and just have the speed bar. And oops, that was still in the edit mode, never mind. And now what I can do is grab this handle and pull it all the way up, and look what happens. Now all the available locomotives, 3 right now, are showing up in the center screen, and I can control all of them from that center screen. You can pull up and down the speed, you can reverse them, and you can also simply tap on that speed bar at a certain height, and then the locomotive will start to accelerate to it. If you click on the top of that bar, you get all the functions for that particular locomotive, and you can activate those functions. You can do the math here. It looks like you can have about 7 or 8 locomotives on the center screen between the two side screens. You can also still pull up the 2 locomotives that have the red dot on the bottom on each side. Here we're back in normal mode, with 1 locomotive on the right side and 1 locomotive on the left side. Now if I want to select this particular locomotive, I can pull it off to the side, and now I can control its speed by either touching the touch screen, or I could also have turned the big red knob. I'll do a few more touches on the screen. You can pull the bar to open and close that window. You can also tap on it, and that opens it to the first layer. You can do the same with the top. Tapping it gets the first layer, and then you can drag it further down as you wish or as you need. You can pull it back up, resize it. If you tap it, it closes again. Same on the sides. Tapping the icon closes the window and it opens it up. Now if I pull another locomotive here, it has more functions. I can close it. If I open it, it only will show the first row of functions. If there are more functions, you're going to have to drag the screen towards the center. If I drag it even more, it changes from the speed bar to the speedometer. I can do the same here. I didn't pull it far enough, so I need to go a little past center to get the speed dial for that locomotive. You can then regulate the speed by simply moving the speedometer needle to where you want it. You can reverse directions by hitting the arrow. And you can do, of course, the same by pushing the red button and by turning the red button. Close the window, just tap it. Close that window, tap it. You now see the 3 locomotives that we have added. I close that window, and now it is time to shut down the central station. Simply hit the stop bar until you see the shutdown sequence start, and you can let go. And a few seconds later, the central station has been shut down.